I love One Piece, but there's one arc I've never liked, and that arc is Thriller Bark. Now, I have 3 reasons why I don't like Thriller Bark. One is the aesthetic. I'm sorry, but it's too dark and gloomy. There's so many other arcs in the series. Nearly every other arc has interesting stuff to look at. I'm talking like Wano, Whole Cake Island, Fishman Island. These are 3 great examples. And even the current arc in the manga, Egghead Island, there's all these cool things to look at, to see. Thriller Bark just doesn't have any of that. It's dark and gloomy. It's just not a fun watching experience for that reason. The second reason is I think Luffy just kind of won this armor based on plot armor. Like, it wasn't Nightmare armor that Luffy that won, it was plot armor Luffy. Oda needed a way for Luffy to win, and I just don't think it was like a reasonable way. It just feels really forced, and I hated that. I was like, okay, this is just blatant plot armor. And One Piece as a whole does a good job, I think, in making it where fights don't feel like there's much plot armor. But here especially, I was like, okay, plot armor, plot armor, plot armor, plot armor, plot armor. I hated it. Now my third reason, and this is a little shaky, okay, I'll admit, but this arc feels kind of out of place. It feels like a mashed together arc where Oda wanted to include some important points to the overall story of One Piece, and he didn't know where else to put them. I'm talking things like Moria's relation to Kaido, or the Seven Warlords for that matter, or Brook's relation to Laboon and just introducing Brook. Or also, he didn't know where to introduce Kuma, so he made this arc where Kuma just shows up. So yeah, I think it's just a little shaky of an arc, and I feel like those things could be easily put in other places, and this arc could just be deleted, and everything would be normal. Now, I know a lot of people like this arc, and a reason for that, I think, though, is that it's carried by the ending, where nothing happens. Am I right? But I don't think it's fair to consider the post part of this arc as part of the arc, because it's kind of like post Enies Lobby. Like, we don't consider that part of Enies Lobby because it's relating to completely different stuff, and that's same with this in Thriller Bark. So when you're formulating your opinion of this arc, I do think you should leave that final part out of your decision. I do want to say there are some good things I do like about this arc. For example, Ryuma. It was really cool to see him, learn his story, and that is one thing I really liked. I also liked being introduced to characters like Kuma or Perona. They're interesting characters, and they did fit well in this arc, I will say. But overall, for the 3 reasons I mentioned, I just don't think this arc is very good, and if I rewatch the series, this is going to be the one arc I skip. But I want to know what you think. Let me know in the comments, do you disagree with me or do you agree with me, and why? And if you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. Stay slippery, butter out.